Interview with Freddie Mercury, 1984, David Wigg talking to him in Munich about his solo plans.
Well, what I wanted to ask you was, Freddie, how do you keep your enthusiasm for what you are doing? I mean,
money.
Because it's 10 years, isn't it?
I know, it's well, that's part of it. It sounds
yeah.
very well. Of course, we're all in it for the money, and I'm not afraid to say that. But of course, and the glory and everything. We've got all that. It's quite easy for me to give up right now because I have all that. I have the money and all that. So, of course, when it comes down to being serious, it's not just for the money. It's just, I think it's just longevity. I think we've got to a stage where, and in a funny way, especially in Europe, I think Queen have actually got a new lease of life. After so many years, I thought, and being away for 2 years, I thought, my God, I've probably forgotten us. But it's sort of like, it's been like a rebirth. This is one of our strongest albums. And I couldn't believe that we've had 3 singles in the top 10, which we've never had from any album before. And so I'm quite amazed, to be honest. It's like I said tonight, I said, until you buggers stop buying our records, we'll still be here.
Yes.
It's like, if they want us, we'll be here.
Yeah. It was a good line. That was nice. Actually, I just made stuff like that.
I like toying with them far more than Ace.
Yeah, I've noticed.
And it's fun. I sort of seem to involve them much more. And it's more down to earth. I think we are more down to earth now. I remember before we were sort of up sky high and we were very sort of ostentatious or whatever. Everybody said we were
Grander than grand.
Yes, all this pomp and all that. Of course, we still have the pomp, but I think we've added this element of humour now, which I think. And I think the video for Break Free shocked quite a lot of people because they thought we didn't have that.
Yes.
And we actually went totally the other way and said, okay, we'll drag it up, even being called Queen.
Yeah.
And for a rock and roll band to actually do that, for like a heavy metal rock and roll band to do that, was quite exciting. We got into our ropes so easily. My God, you should have seen it. We put the slap on and there you are.
Did you enjoy that?
Yes, it was another challenge. It was another sort of tangent, as it were. And,
it's wonderful how they all know the words.
Yes, and that was...
And on the Radio Gaga video, they all did the actions, didn't they? That was very moving.
Yes, because in a funny way, we've only done... It's the 4th show, and I'm trying out a lot of things. And tonight was the first night where we actually did that song, and I didn't sing it. I thought, God, I'll go for it. I'll go. Yeah. I know they sing Love of My Life, but I thought, I Want to Break Free is quite new, and they sang it.
It was fantastic.
Very
moving. So, why did you take that 2-year break? You must have needed it. Why?
Yes, we did. We were all forming sort of a rut. I wanted to get out of this. For the last 10 years or whatever, we were doing. It was so routine. It was like go into the studio, do an album, go out on the road, go around the world, and flog it to death. And by the time we came back, it was time to do another album. And that routine is all right when you start off because you've got to keep the ball rolling, as it were. But after a while, I think it's like a painter. You have to sort of paint away, and then you've got to sort of stand back and look at it in perspective, and that's exactly what we needed. We needed to sort of, number one, be away from each other, and just otherwise, sometimes you don't realise you just keep going on with that routine, and you don't even know if you're actually going down. And I needed a break just to think and do other things. We all need that, and I think it sort of helped.
You've got this very strong, arrogant image on stage. You have put more humour into it. But is that you, or is that a defence?
I have to fight that because when I am actually, if you're talking in terms of trying to get a relationship together, I'm the nicest person you could meet, my dear.
Well, it's just that I have always thought
it's just in terms of that, but it's just that I am handicapped, and therefore I have to sort of virtually fight my so-called stage persona. Most of the times it sort of works against me. That's the thing, and I have to fight that all the time. Funny thing is, like, I created the monster. I built myself up for one side, but then I have to find somebody to accept that in terms of a relationship. It's very hard. It's trying to segregate the two, and it's not easy. It's like two sides of a coin. I think over the years I have become bitter because I sort of learnt more, and it makes you strong. And I have become bitter, and I just I don't trust anybody because they've let me down so many times.
Really?
Yes, they all have. And of course, the more you let down, the more you hurt. So I feel I'm walking around with scars all over the place, you know, and I think I couldn't take another scar.
And that's very sad when there's so many people sitting out in that audience that obviously love you, isn't it?
This is it. You could be the most lonely person. You could be so loved by so many thousands of people, yet you could be so lonely. And that makes it worse. The frustration of that is even worse, because most people just think that how can somebody like Freddie Mercury be lonely, because he has money, he has this, he has cars, chauffeurs, the lot. And in fact, sometimes that kind of loneliness is the hardest to bear.
Because you don't really belong to anyone, especially.
No, I mean, you have to sort of, you have to put your persona and all that. And you have to sort of, and I just find that I find it very hard to open up to people because I don't trust them.
So you're really disillusioned at this with life somewhat, aren't you?
Well, yes and no. I'm disillusioned, but yet I think I've got a grip on myself. So I seem to be more aware. Sort of contradiction in terms, isn't it? But but it is true. Sometimes maybe I wish I didn't talk so much and maybe not talk to people. It's just that I seem to find out more and more, and I find the more I find out, the more I realise how cruel it can be.
Artists do change by their success. It makes
of course it's changed me.
More arrogant, say.
It has, yes, of course it's changed me. But it's gone in sort of two stages. I would be a fool to actually decline the fact that, you know, it didn't change me in terms of being snobbish and arrogant or whatever. That was a stage. The first stage, of course, I was the bee's knees, and I thought, you know, nobody could. I just thought I was it. But then I've actually come to realizing that, I mean, success can be handled in a different way, and I actually, it's coming down to earth. I actually sort of pay more attention of actually making people realize that I am normal. You know what I mean? This is such this shit thing about people thinking, oh, Freddie Mercury, he won't talk to me. I think I've kept it in balance. And so there are two stages of the thing. Success did change me, and now it's actually changed me yet again. Very much coming down, and I think I seem to cope with it quite well. I mean, you can't win, darling. You just can't win in my situation. That's the way it is. You can't win. The bit of happiness I can create is with my money. Okay, the money can't buy happiness. It's true. I've written a song called Money Can't Buy Happiness.
Yes.
But I mean, here I am, the hypocrite, saying that depending on who you are, you can. Yeah, sometimes. I mean,
you can give happiness, can't you?
Yes, that's another form of getting happiness. It's like when I buy people presents, I love it far more than maybe they do. I love to see that kind of thing.
Freddie, do you feel that a lot of people then don't realise the sensitivity within yourself because of this image?
I don't think most people realise that at all.
No.
But I don't lose sleep over that. I'm not going to go out looking for barrages of people saying, look, I am, that doesn't worry me. No. It's basically finding a few very close people who understand. That would be enough for me. Trying to get really true friends in this business is very hard.